Hi everyone, I'm Omar Villafranca. We're following frantic rescue efforts in northern Thailand. A heightened sense of urgency surrounds the mission to get the boys' soccer team to safety as conditions inside that cave deteriorate. Officials say oxygen levels in the cave's chamber where the boys have taken refuge fell from 21% to 15%. Flooding inside the cave is also a growing concern. Workers are pumping water out before heavy rains hit over the weekend. The mission was shaken after officials reported a former Thai Navy diver who volunteered to help rescue the 12 boys and their coach died during the rescue effort from a lack of oxygen. CBS News Asia correspondent Ben Tracy is in Chiang Rai, Thailand with the latest.
Crews are working frantically to pump out water from inside the cave system where 12 boys and their 25-year-old soccer coach are trapped. With monsoon rains in the forecast this weekend, floodwaters are expected to once again rise. But that's not the only concern. Authorities say oxygen levels inside the cave are dropping, and they are rushing to install a 3-mile-long oxygen tube. We originally thought the boys could stay safe inside the cave for quite some time, this Thai SEAL commander said. But circumstances have changed. We have a limited amount of time. From the cave entrance to an area known as Chamber 3, the water is now down to around knee-high level. But the space between Chamber 3 and the boys is still completely flooded. The only way through it includes a nearly 100-foot underwater dive. That is close to where the former Navy SEAL diver died on Thursday. Thai authorities say he was on his way back from delivering air tanks to the group when he passed out underwater. He was pulled out unconscious and unable to be revived. Authorities are trying to get the floodwaters to a level where the boys would not have to dive and could swim out with life jackets on and their heads above water. So just over here is the entrance to the cave, and all day long they are bringing things in and out. Right now it appears they're actually trying to move in these large submersible water pumps in order to pump more water out of the flooded cavern. But even if they are successful in pumping enough water out, there is worry the group does not have the endurance to make the nearly 5-hour-long trip out of the cave. Some are showing signs of weakness and malnutrition, and most do not know how to swim. I'm worried. He has never dived, said the father of one of the boys, but he can swim a little.
Ben Tracy joins me now. Ben, you mentioned the former Navy SEAL, Thai Navy SEAL, who died during his efforts due to the lack of oxygen, trying to exit that cave. These boys have been down there for more than a week. Are rescuers worried that they may be stuck there? Are they going to be too weak? Are they going to have enough energy to make it out of that cave? What's the situation?
Yeah, they're worried about all of those things. I mean, it's been almost 2 weeks now that they've been in there. So there are concerns that they are weak, that they are malnourished, even though they've now been giving them food since they found them a couple of days ago. But this was a trained Navy SEAL diver who died due to lack of oxygen making this journey. So the thought that, 11, 12, 13-year-old boys who have no training, who barely know how to swim, could accomplish the same thing without significant risk. I think this death has raised a lot of questions about whether that plan is still feasible.
Obviously, the weather is going to be a big issue, but what are the conditions that the rescue teams are facing right now as they're trying to get everyone out?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you see that video that comes out of the cave, it is so narrow, it's so wet, it's so dark. I mean, you're basically talking about for the guys who are going from the entrance of the cave, which is just right down here, all the way to where the boys are. That's an 11-hour round trip journey, and they're doing it with oxygen canisters and with food and with medicine. And they're passing through areas where we've been told that their bodies are too wide for it if they wear the oxygen tank, so they actually have to take it off and dive. So this is not an easy situation. It's why they're trying to so quickly drain as much water from the cave as possible before the rains hit here this weekend.
Obviously, a lot of concentration is going to be inside the cave. Is there anything happening outside the cave?
Yeah, we're standing right outside the cave. I mean, that's the entrance just down beyond those trucks there. And you can't see what's on this side of me, but I mean, this is kind of this tent city that is developed here. The vast majority of it, I have to admit, is media. There's, media from all around the world because of how kind of crazy this story is about what these kids have endured and what they might have to endure to get out. But you'll also see this road is lined with all sorts of tents that hold the divers that keep going in there, that hold the rescue workers who are trying to build a phone line in there so these kids can talk to their parents that are trying to bring oxygen in. So this has really become a command center for this rescue operation, and it's massive.
There's always order in these operations, but do we know if they're trying to get the youngest out? Are they trying to get the weakest out? Are they telling the media anything on what their process will be?
They haven't really specified that. The only thing they've really said that's close to that is that they would remove the boys who are healthiest first. And the reason for that, they might sound counterintuitive, but the reason for that is you need to be healthy as possible to make this kind of dangerous escape. So the boys who have had enough nutrition, who have gotten some of their strength back, who seem mentally capable of going through something like this. But, you know, we've also heard that some of the kids have flat out refused to do this, to get in the water. I mean, some of these kids have never swam in their life. So imagine going through that and somebody says you're going to put a dive mask on and go underwater in the dark in a cave to try to save your life. It's a frightening proposition.
It sounds frightening too. And before I let you go, Ben, there's obviously more rain in the forecast there. How could that affect the efforts of the rescuers?
It's going to be a problem. I mean, monsoon rains are expected to return here. There's been kind of this uncanny week of very dry weather here. This is the wet season. It doesn't usually happen where you get that many days in a row. But if these rains come back, you could expect that that's going to reverse some of the progress that they have made with pumping the water out of the cave. They have tried to plug areas where they know water leaks into the cave to kind of mitigate that. But I imagine they can't find all of those in the last couple of days. So you could have a situation where this cave floods again, which would make it very hard for the rescuers to get to the boys and make it nearly impossible for them to attempt this extraction back through the cave underwater.
Ben Tracy following those difficult efforts in northern Thailand. Ben, thank you very much.